Okay, folks, it's time for a stoner story.
This is a personal story from me and Kathy. We went to the first Rock in Rio in January 1985. It was the largest rock festival in the world with 1.5 million people. Ozzy, Queen, AC/DC, Scorpions, and Yes were the bands that we were there to see anyway. Basically, we flew down to South America, 9-hour flight on a DC-10. We were kind of expecting actually a gunman to jump out and say, "Take us to Cuba," at any time. But either that or at least, some part falling off the DC-10 considering the reputation at the time. Anyway, we survived it. And when we got down there, we ended up meeting Ozzy at a hotel, which was one of the, of course, best parts of the vacation other than being there. I got his autograph and everything, and Jakey Lee's and Tommy Aldridge's, and we'll show you the things because it was on the back of my jean jacket, which I'll show you later. Anyway, we met Ozzy there and everything, and we also met this hooker down there, and hookers are legal, by the way, in Brazil. Her name was Leo. Hey? Good name for a hooker. Anyway, basically, we were in front of this hotel, just walking around.
So Jakey Lee wasn't a hooker?
No. Jakey Lee was the guitarist for Ozzy's band.
Oh.
Anyway, you know that. Anyway, when we got down there, we were just wandering around on Copacabana, right? You know, the Copacabana, the famous one, right? And the beach there, right? So we're hanging around, and basically, she comes up to me and says, "You take me to see Ozzy Osbourne." I went, "Sure," right? Well, probably because I'm white, I guess, right? They got me in the hotel and everything. They assumed I was at that hotel. I was rich. Anyway, so they got me. I got her in there with me, right? And we ended up meeting. We ended up partying with Whitesnake and fucking Jon Anderson from Yes, and a bunch of people having drinks with fucking Ep1Pt2s, even a whole bunch of different bands. Anyway, it was a pretty good time, and all the drinks were free, of course, because I thought I was at the hotel, so I signed for everything. You know, what the hell, why not, right? So I didn't pay for any of the fucking drinks the whole night. So anyway, because I ended up meeting Ozzy too, I almost interrupted an Ozzy interview for TV by accident, because I was just walking up these stairs, right? I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And there they are doing an interview, right? But the security guard came over and said, And anyway, you're in a country with fucking military and police, man. You don't fuck around too much. But anyway, we met Jon Anderson, Whitesnake there and everything. But after that, she introduced us, she told us about this guy that can get some green for us, right? Some weed down in Brazil, right? So we said, hey, fuck, why not, right? We didn't take anything down with us because we didn't want to get popped or anything, right? So anyway, we go, all right. So she gives us, sets up this meeting, gives us a fucking map, right? And puts on the map the name of the place and everything. It's not even in English or nothing. So we don't know where the hell we're going. So me and this other guy met on the way, right, for the concert. We're fucking walking around on Copacabana again, right? This is a lot later, even the next day, I think. We're walking around. We don't know where the hell we're going. We don't know what's on this map, right? This is a foreign country. We don't have a clue what the hell she wrote. And we're walking around like with, our heads in the clouds going, what the hell are we going to do, right? All of a sudden we turn around and the guy's just standing there.
Barry Manilow?
No, the drug dealer. Anyway, out of nowhere, we just happened to be at the right place. You know what I mean? Just out of pure fucking coincidence, we're at the right place. So we end up meeting him, which is great, actually. But anyway, so we go back into the can. He opens up this grocery bag, and he's got like fucking 12 or 13 little fucking round balls in it, right? And I go, what the hell is this, right? He pulls one out, and he cracks it open, and it was just like paper, whatever, wrapped with weed wrapped in it, and it was so tight that it just went poof, and all the weed just kind of came out into the bag, right? I said, I'll fucking take it. So it was like $20 or something, right? We get back to the hotel, and it's like a fucking ounce of weed for like $20, right? It was blow away fucking weed, huge seeds and everything, right? It was great. But aside from that, all kinds of other shit happened. For instance, later on, okay, this was like a few days later, we're getting ready to leave, eh?
Why is huge seeds good?
Well, huge seeds are good, I don't know, because I think it's usually a better seed. It's stronger, and I've read somewhere that larger seeds are a stronger seed. You know what I mean? Like more chance of survival. But we'll have to check into that later on. Anyway, to get on to the story, basically, we were going away a few days later, and I'll get back to some of the more shit happening later in a minute. But we're going to leave, and this guy was actually a waiter at a restaurant, and the restaurant had a lot of people outside of it, right? So we went back afterwards, and basically he got us in front of everybody because we treat him so well and everything. We end up partying with him and all this shit. So it does pay off to be nice to people, you know what I mean? Because we didn't want to wait 4 hours in line when we had to go catch a plane later. You know what I mean?
Goes around, comes around.
Exactly. Anyway, while we were there was also the world's largest McDonald's that served beer, which is actually, I think, the only time that's ever happened.
That's gross.
Well, it actually wasn't bad beer. I tried one. Okay, it didn't really eat the hamburgers, but considering in Brazil, some of the places aren't even as good as McDonald's, but some of the restaurants are really good. You know, it depends where you eat. Anyway, they also had these guys there that dispense booze, called Booze Busters. And they had these big fucking booze canisters on their back, and they were pouring booze in the... what they do is give you a little sachet of booze, and then that would be, I think, the pop or whatever. But they had the booze and the pop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So basically, you could get a drink anywhere in the concert at any time, as long as one of them was walking by.
Did someone say booze?
Yeah. Anyway, but at the same time, okay, when we were there, it was raining one night, right? And it's a fucking torrential rain, eh? So when we were there, basically, it was pouring rain, and it turned into a giant wet t-shirt concert, by the way. But it was pouring fucking rain, and it was like literally mud up to you, like past your ankles, okay? And we look over, and there's one guy, he's like pissing in the mud, just right there, piss drunk, just pissing in the mud, right out in the open, right? Then we look over 10 feet, and there's these two other guys wrestling in the mud, pushing the other guy's face into it and shit, and we're thinking, holy fuck. I hope some guy didn't shit in that spot. You know what I mean? Like, that's bad. But, you know, hey, that's not me. But on top of that, when we got in the concert, when we were going into the concert, check this out. When we were going into the concert, the security comes up to me and says, oh man, we got to take your wristband. And of course I had the rings in my pocket, right? So I didn't want to show them that, right? But they go, we got to take your wristband, man. We got to hold on to it, right? I said, what, you're keeping it? And they said, oh, no. We're just holding on to it till after the concert. I said, okay, man, I don't give a fuck, right? So I go, we enjoy the concert for that day. It was like 8-day concert, eh? So it was like different days of shit that happened, right? So we're done the concert. I come back, and I go, where's my wristband? And here's my ticket. He gave me a ticket for it, right? He goes, oh, it's over there. Go get it. So I go over to this booth, and there's a fucking 500,000 wristbands in this booth. And they're fucking huge ones, too, like right up to your wrist and shit, bolts in them and shit. And I'm supposed to pick out this thing. I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking, I'm fucking looking, I'm going, oh fuck, I've lost it. Okay, I'm never gonna find this thing, right? So I'm looking and all of a sudden I see it, but it's backwards. But I just happened to catch it, eh? And I found it. Just out of fucking pure fluke again. There were so many flukes that happened during this fucking, festival, it was ridiculous, okay? But anyway, it was a great fucking time. We ended up getting a lot of drugs. We ended up even smoking hash down there because this other guy we met brought down a little bit of hash in a fucking tube of toothpaste. And it tasted like toothpaste a little bit, but it was pretty fucking good. We enjoyed it. And it tied us over until we smoked the weed. So, it was a good time. And that's my stoner story. Alright? So, that's it.
That's it?
That's it for now. Alright, it's time for a quick poem. Here we go. Pot is a plant that grows in the ground. If God didn't want it, it wouldn't be around. So all you fuckers that don't get high, shut the fuck up and give it a try. Speaking of which, that's it.